Hi everyone, it's Nick. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, in this video today, we are going to be talking about the most annoying comment that I see on my YouTube channel. It's not even just my YouTube channel. I see it on other people's channels. I see this in the mainstream media. I hear people talk about it all the time, everything related to home decor and interior design. And so I thought I would talk about what that comment is and sort of challenge all of us to kind of look at this maybe from a different perspective, because I've been thinking a lot about this because I see this comment so often. And I thought I would talk about why it bugs me and what I think we can maybe all learn to be a little bit more open-minded when approaching things like trends and new ideas and things like that. Okay, so what is the comment? The comment that I get all the time is, decorate however you want to. Just do what you love. You just decorate the way that you want to. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't pay attention to these trends. Just decorate however you like. This comment is everywhere. And I want to say first that I think it's well-intentioned. I do find myself even saying it sometimes. And I've really thought about why I say it. And I've realized that a lot of it is just to sort of cover my ass a little bit, because otherwise people just freak out in the comment section because they think that I'm telling them what to do, even though I'm just sharing my opinion and you don't have to listen to me. So I do think this comment is overall quite well intentioned. It is meant for people to say, block out the noise and just focus on your personal style and what you really love to do. And it is correct in that way. And that's why I do say it sometimes, and I think that's where a lot of people are coming from. But I want to challenge this idea because I've noticed that it is also used in ways that I think are a little bit more of a problem and sort of shuts down people's ideas on what they can do in the world of design and what they can do in their own homes. So let's talk about the reasons, because I've thought a lot about this, of why this comment bugs me so much. Okay, the first reason that it bugs me so much is that it is obvious. Is it even worth saying? Like, is it even worth saying for me or others to just be like, decorate however you want, it's your own home? Obviously, okay? It's so obvious at this point that it's not really adding a whole lot of value to the conversation, if I'm being quite honest. Maybe sometimes, again, it's a nice healthy reminder that you can do what you want, but I guess for me, because I see this comment so much and I see it everywhere all over social media and in the media all the time, that it just feels so obvious that it's not super duper helpful. So I'll give you a really good example. Years ago, this comment stuck with me to now, because I'm pretty sure I did it on my 2021 Benjamin Moore color palette collection. And I remember this comment from this woman, Joyce, and I know it's Joyce, and I'll tell why in a second. And she said something, the comment's not there anymore because I think she actually called me a not nice word, and so I think YouTube just deleted it. I didn't, but I looked for it and it's gone, so I think YouTube screened that out. But she said, don't listen to this guy. No one's gonna tell me how to paint my house. I'm gonna paint my house how I like, and no one's gonna tell me otherwise, and this guy isn't going to convince me to paint my house these colors because I love my house the way that it is. Paint however you want. Something like that. And I remember that comment, and without missing a beat, and I don't know your name, sorry, but some other guy commented right below, and I loved this comment so much. He said, no one asked you to, Joyce. And I thought, oh my gosh, yes, no one asked you to, Joyce. I love that. It was so succinct, and he said it better than I could, because he's right. No one asked you to. So I think when we sometimes see all these trends and all these, interior design styles and all these different things, and the stuff that I talk about and many, many other people talk about in the media, they're just ideas. They're not things that you have to take in. You don't have to do them yourself, but I feel like that's obvious. You don't have to paint your house, Joyce. Just because we're talking about new color trends doesn't mean you need to go and paint your house. Just because we're talking about new things showing up in store doesn't mean you need to run out to the shops. The reality is that we live in a capitalist society, and there's a lot of people that are going to convince you to buy new stuff all the time. And I think it's important that we take a critical eye to that, for sure. But at the end of the day, it's just so transparently obvious to me that you can put stuff in your own home, that just because even if I make fun of something that's in your own home, it doesn't really matter. None of this is to be taken seriously, right? In the end, it's like fashion. There's new ideas, there's new things that come in and out of fashion. At the end of the day, no one's forcing you to put on, I don't know, flare jeans just because they're apparently maybe coming back a little bit, right? No one's making you put on these new prints. No one's forcing you to do anything. You don't have to paint your house, Joyce. No one asked you to. Okay, and then the next reason this bugs me so much is that it is dismissive. Building on that, I think where it becomes a challenge is that oftentimes saying decorate however you want is a way to dismiss otherwise really good ideas and really good advice. I think it sort of feels like it just cuts things off so quickly that it doesn't really explore the opportunity that there might be a way for you to learn or try something new that might even actually improve your space. And so that sometimes really gets me because, this is new trends that are coming down the road and everyone just goes, well, just decorate however you want. Fine, obviously, like I just said, but there could be some real nuggets in there that you're maybe not exploring. And by just taking it at a little bit of an angle and say, you know, these trends are not for me, but maybe they're really cool for somebody else, and that's okay. I think an important lesson in life is to learn, especially navigating the internet, that not everything is about you and not everything is for you. And some content, yes, you can like make fun of things and you can laugh at the silly things people do on TikTok. Oh, Lord knows that I do. But at the end of the day, it's just not for you, and that's okay. And yes, we can still make fun of things and, you know, have fun with design, and that's what we're all about here all the time. But I do think it becomes a problem when you just dismiss all new trends and all new things out of hand because you're completely narrow-mindedly focused on what is your own perfect personal interior design style. And then I think the third reason that it bugs me, I can already tell this is gonna be my most disliked video ever, but that's okay. My third reason why this bugs me is that it's really just not true for everybody that they know what their interior design style even is. So again, building off of it's being really dismissive, and it's sort of creating a culture of dismissing everything that comes that is new because everybody should just decorate whatever they want. Some people don't know what they want, and that's totally okay. You know, I love it when people come up to me on the street and they just say like, I just love your videos because I learned how to decorate, or I redid my kitchen and like your video is really helpful. Like, I just love that. And for so many people, I would say the majority of people, quite frankly, that are probably not even in the comment section. I see you watch my videos, but you never comment. That's okay. That's most people, to be honest. They don't know what their style is, right? They're learning, they're figuring it out. They're trying things, they're changing, and they're evolving over time. And we're evolving over time because it is really a journey, and our spaces, you know, evolve over time. And that's a good thing because you're open-minded in what you're looking for. And I think in the same way you can be dismissive, I think when people are not really comfortable in what is their style, and it's definitely evolving and still very much forming, you know, they don't know what they want. And so just to assume that everybody has their own style nailed down and you should just decorate however you want, I feel like invalidates in a way people which is most people that actually don't know what they want. And they don't have a personal style yet, and that's totally okay. And so they come to social media to learn and to experience different things and to be exposed to different sort of styles and different ways of doing things. And I think just dismissing that everything should just be in your style assumes that everybody knows what theirs is, and they don't. So, you know, maybe just be kind of aware. Think of it from that angle. And even you yourself, even if you think you really know your style, because I think I know mine, but then I look back at like what it was 5 years ago, and I'm like, you know what, it has changed. Things that I did in this apartment when I designed it 5 years ago are probably not the same things that I would do if I walked into this room for the first time. Everything evolves and changes over time, and that's a good thing, I think. And yeah, I think to just sort of dismiss everything out of hand kind of invalidates that. Okay, and then the fourth reason that this comment annoys me so much is that everybody is impacted by trends, and so it's just not true that you necessarily have your own personal style and it's completely locked in, right? Like, we're all impacted a little bit by trends. You know, fashion is a really good example, and I think that is one that, because we don't necessarily see everybody's houses all the time, but we do see their fashion, I think you cannot deny, especially when you get to a certain age where you've seen these cycles. You know, I'm old enough now to know that I have seen jean pant legs go from skinny to boot cut, back again to flare, back to skinny. I've seen it so many times, and whether we like it or not, as humans, we really do like to fit in, and so we are impacted. I'm not gonna go all Devil Wears Prada on you again. I did that in a previous video, but I do think that there is something to be said for that. We are impacted by it, especially since so much of what's happening in trends, so much of what's happening in design filters down into the shops that you then go to. So when you do shop at West Elm, and then you go to Crate & Barrel, and then you go to HomeSense or IKEA or any of these places, they are impacted by the styles and the sort of designs that are happening from big name designers that are then filtering into Dwell and Architectural Digest and all these places, then get talked about in videos like mine, and then do end up in those different stores. So you might go to West Elm and go, oh, that's really cute, but West Elm style has actually changed quite a bit in the last 5 years. And the reason for that is because they, as a retailer, who is interested in, you know, making money, is going to evolve their style and their store to match the trends and what people are looking for. And as the trends sort of move forward, so does West Elm style. So when you walk into West Elm and you go, oh, that's really cute, it's not just been selected there because, you know, the West Elm style doesn't change because they know their style. No, West Elm has changed because they've evolved with the trends as well. So when you see something and you go, oh, that's cute, that would fit in with my style, you are, you know, indirectly being impacted by the trends that you see. So to say, forget the trends, I just am all about my personal style, negates the fact that your personal style is impacted by trends, whether you like it or not. Okay, and then the next reason why this comment bugs me so much is that sometimes it's like just wrong. Like sometimes it's like, there are certain, like there's an art and a science to design. And I think we in the media, me as for sure I do this, we talk about like the art side a lot because it's really sexy, right? We talk about the trends, we talk about the aesthetics, and we talk about, you know, different materials and different colors. And, you know, we talk about these sort of things because they're really fun, and people like to talk about like, you know, is brush nickel really in right now? Is it coming back? Ooh, chrome is having a moment because we're seeing it pop up here, there, and everywhere. We love to talk about that stuff because it's fun and it's like the art of design, and that tends to be the stuff that gets the most attention, it gets the clicks, and that's what everybody, the mainstream media, everybody is interested in, is getting your attention. And so the art stuff is the stuff we tend to focus on. But there's a lot of the science of interior design that is not as sexy. Things like electrical, things like plumbing, things like space planning, right? Things that would put you to sleep. If we actually just sat here and talked about them ad nauseum on a YouTube video, people would be really bored. No one wants to sit here and have me talk about space planning for multiple videos. No one's interested in that. Well, some people are, but most people would not be super interested in that. Choosing the right material for the right function. I mean, all this stuff isn't particularly sexy, but it's the stuff that interior designers do. It's the stuff they went to school for. It's the reason why they have all this experience, is so that they can take all that knowledge and then translate that into their projects. And that's kind of the science of interior design. And sometimes, you know, the way the eye works, human scale, right? These things matter in design, and it's much more of a science than you probably think it is. And so to just say, decorate however you want, only assumes that the art matters, because art is largely subjective, but it discounts that sometimes there is a science behind why we do what we do, right? Again, choosing the right material for the right space. You know, if you say, well, I love this coffee table and I don't care what anybody says, that's fine. But if your coffee table requires your guests to sort of step over the corner because it's way too large for your living room, and it's not, the space planning is not right in the measure, you didn't do your measurements properly, and you have a coffee table that's just way too big for the space, and it overwhelms the space and it makes it difficult for people to navigate around it, I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's kind of bad design. I think like from the science part of interior design, that's wrong. You might love it. Obviously, go back to point one, you can do what you want. You can put your own coffee table in if you like it. That's fine. You can do what you like I said at the beginning of the video. But sometimes it's not the right choice. There is something to be said for it's just not the right choice. And again, we tend to get caught up in the art side where what is the right choice is largely subjective, but some of it is just bad. And I think it's just really important to kind of call that out when we see it a little bit, even though, you know, maybe it might ruffle some feathers, but that's okay. So in the end, I do get why this line is said so often in the comment section and in mainstream media, whatever. And I even say to my own videos, decorate however you want. Obviously, at the end of the day, decorate however you want. But I wanted to make this video because I really wanted to challenge people, and myself sometimes, to really think about it from a different perspective, that maybe this isn't all about us. And maybe sometimes there is some things that are just bad. And maybe sometimes it's important that we don't just dismiss these things out of hand. Maybe it's just a little bit better to say, this isn't for me. That's okay, it's for somebody else. I'm comfortable with where I'm at. If I'm not comfortable, I'm eager to learn and try new things, and that's okay, because in the end, we're all learning, and it's a journey that we're all on to try to make beautiful spaces that are functional and gorgeous and that we love for ourselves and for our families and for our guests and people that, you know, experience our home. And in the end, we're all just trying our best. But I think it's really important that we don't dismiss new ideas or new trends out of hand just because, you know, it might challenge us a little bit to think a little bit differently, which I think is sometimes the case of what's happening when I see those comments. So thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this video, a bit of a different one for you. Comment below, like it, please like this video because it's probably gonna get more dislikes than I've ever had before, and that's okay. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. What do you find yourself saying this all the time? And if so, why do you do it? And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.